They wanted to know what we was gonna talk about. I said, we finna talk all things black in America. Sometimes you need a place where you can come and you can have them kind of conversations. Y'all ain't finna just be here all night interrupting me saying hi to Dr. Wright. So for those 2 or 3 people in the world who might not know who you are, give us a brief history of who is Dr. Samuel Lamar Wright Sr.
A small town boy who hails from Boynton Beach. Parents, mother was Bahamian descendant. She was born in the U.S., but her parents were born in Long Island, Bahamas. And my father's family was born in Georgia.
Shout out to anybody else from Boynton Beach. I don't know anybody else from Boynton Beach but Dr. Wright.
Oh yeah, so it came up in a predominant black elementary school and had a nice village there. My parents were not educated. In fact, my father never finished high school. My mother did finish high school and wanted to go to college, but she decided when she met my dad, I guess it was over. She started a family and she decided to be a mother, and she was a phenomenal mother. I was blessed to have a good village, and I had uncles and aunts, many of whom were college educated, and that's how I got a lot of my experiences. So when people talk about a village is real, it was nothing like being out in an intercoastal on a Sunday afternoon, because my one uncle worked for millionaires in Highland Beach, which is right next to Delray Beach, where we could get out on the waterways, intercoastal or ocean on a Sunday afternoon in a 28-footer. Then I had relatives who, they were butlers. My real uncle was a butler, and then he had a lot of people from up north to come in, and they would drive Rolls Royces by my aunt's house and park them out front. So
Wow.
we were able to see these Rolls Royces at an early age. So it was good to have that village, because a lot of them were FAMUans, and of course I didn't go to FAM. I went to school. I was a good student. I was in music. You say, what's black in America? Let me say this. And during my formative years, I had some educators who were second to none. Most of whom were black females, but they were mothering, they were caring, they were nurturing, they spoke prophetically. My second grade teacher would come by the house and tell my mother, say, hold your dollars, because that boy is going to college and he's going to make you a proud boy.
Second grade teacher.
Second grade teachers.
When did you graduate high school?
I finished high school in 1971. I integrated a junior high school when I was finishing 6th grade, went to 7th grade. That was an interesting experience, because folk didn't just call me Sam, they called me Sammy. A few of them called me nigga. But anyway,
Hold on.
I learned that you had to rise above. When Michelle Obama says, when people hit low, she had to hit high. But I was encouraged by being in an integrated, non-segregated environment, because I wanted to educate some people about who black people are.
What was it like the first time someone, non-black person, called you a nigga? Like, how did that?
Yeah, it wasn't a good feeling, but because I didn't. But the beauty about it was I didn't internalize it and get hurt like a lot of people did, because I came from a family. We had humble beginnings, but I never knew maybe we were poor or low income. Because that's not the lifestyle we lived.
Okay.
We had rich spirits. We had a vision for rich outcomes. So we didn't let those kind of things just get me to fighting and being belligerent, because I knew who I was. Good. When you're reared in a family with a village, when you are taught and trained that you are somebody, other folk can't determine who you are. They don't give you a name and that's what you become, because you know what you have inside. And that's what I came up with. But I always knew that with God, all things are possible, and I was somebody. I didn't have to have Justice Jackson to tell me I am somebody. But my family made me feel I was somebody, and that's the way they did business.
So your family instilled in you your identity.
That's right, your identity,
so when you
and
went
who
out,
you are.
So you went out in the integrated school in the 70s and the late 60s, hearing the racial slurs, they didn't affect you. Now, they didn't bother you in the way that, and you didn't respond, more so. More importantly,
the way the world would expect you to
respond. Okay.
My mother had a strong will about what she wanted her children to do and to become. She had a vision for her children. That was important when you come from a family when a mother has those aspirations for you, and say she's not gonna let nothing stop you from getting where you want to go. Whatever you want to do, I'm gonna help you get there. When you got that kind of support, and unfortunately, a lot of kids and families don't have that kind of support.
They don't.
That's why it takes a village now.
So you leave integrated high school in Boynton Beach, and you go to, not to FAMU, you go to the other side of Florida, and you end up in a very white Gainesville. Why UF, and what was that like, being at UF in the 70s?
Well, UF was a challenging experience. Now, unlike, I recruited a number of students like yourself and others, who came to summer school at USF. And that's how I started. I took a summer experience at the University of Florida, which was my beginning, and it was a blessing, because had I started in the fall semester, I'm not sure if I'd have graduated with honors from the University of Florida. I wanted a different experience, and I decided that I had an uncle in Gainesville who was a pastor of a Baptist church. And because I was my mother's only son, I didn't want to be that far from my mother, because I wanted to be able to get to her if I needed to. So I chose to stay in school in the state of Florida. But it became a wonderful experience. I loved my experience at the University of Florida. Now, I really enjoyed UF.
But you initially said it was challenging.
Well, it was challenging academically, being exposed to that huge environment. See, I'm a social person. And most people know that I love to party. I love a good life. I awaken in the morning to live life to the fullest. So when I'm dead, this world doesn't know me nothing else, because that's the way I live my life.
Okay.
So I enjoyed.
Y'all hear that, people?
I enjoyed a beautiful social experience.
Enjoy life.
Enjoyed the fraternity. When I would step into a room at the University of Florida on campus, and they would say the party is getting ready to start because Sam Wright is here.
Has the situation for Black America improved since you graduating college and what you see today?
I sort of have mixed emotions to some degree, because you might make 2 or 3 steps forward and 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 backwards in terms of opportunity. Once young people really get their minds made up, once they determine they're going to be something, and they really get their minds made up what they want to do, they can really make some things happen for themselves. They really can. I spoke with a student just here on Sunday at the Open Cafe, who is a freshman at the University of South Florida. And I think he's has Haitian background. But he said to me he was on 4 or 5 scholarships at the University of South Florida as a freshman student, because he's in engineering, I think, but he's determined to be successful. And of course, that's a laundry list of young people with similar testimonies who have really wanted to do something and did. But what is disheartening is when we find young people in our schools have no direction about where they're going and no inkling about their future. And it's just unfortunate when we don't feel like we could move beyond the now, which is very difficult. And that's why I try to strive to people, and I don't want to push my Christianity or spirituality on other people. I just want people to get deeply rooted in something much greater than themselves, so they can look forward to a brighter future. Life for me ain't been no Christian state. My father was abusive to the family. He was bitter in a lot of ways, and the way he would react, that he would just get mean and abusive. But because I know the Lord, and the Lord was on my side and got me through situations, that's why I'm able to say I'm 64 years of age and was blessed to never have to go to jail or nothing like that in my lifetime. But I've had some difficult moments.
So is it that you're not happy that we don't do enough for ourselves, or we don't do?
It just seems like as a race of people, after we have seen what our people endured yesteryear, yesterday, we should have that inner drive, like our people had years ago. They didn't have a lot given to them, but they had that inner drive to be something. And that's when I speak to students, I want to see that little inner drive to go beyond those circumstances.
So you see a lot of complacent Black folk.
Yeah, a lot of complacent folk that I'm gonna conform and do as the world expects me to do. I'm not gonna be the outlier. I'm not going to the next level to get some things done. I've seen people really sometime when they really want to achieve success, they go to the bat to do that. And I've had students that promised me when they came to USF, I used to give scholarships to students, and they said to me to my face, they say, I will make sure, Dr. Wright, that you'll never regret investing in me with this scholarship. I have one student right now who is a medical doctor who came out of abject poverty in my own hometown. Mm-hmm. But when I offered him a scholarship to come to USF, he said, I promise you, I will make good on that.